Welcome to Crosstown Cardboard episode 82. And what the title of this episode is, they're called trading cards. As you can hear in the inflection and tone of my voice, the emphasis is literally on the word trading. And I'm trading places because I'm actually back in New York, in Albany. So, Craig, we're actually crosstown, a little bit further crosstown than Westchester County up here in Albany. But, we are crosstown right now. So it's not a full reunion, but we are both back in New York. And by the way, that's Craig. He's at New York City Sports Cards, the math teacher, the soccer coach from Long Island, but now in New York City. And I'm Carmine at Carmine's Cards, the sports storyteller from Ossining, New York in Westchester County, but now covering the women's college basketball Sweet 16 and Elite 8, which just finished up here in Albany, New York, and I'm taking a flight straight to Cleveland, Ohio for the Final Four and the number one undefeated 36-0 South Carolina Gamecocks, the Fighting Dawn Staleys. So, Craig, we talked about last episode, college cards or nah, because we're in the midst of all the March Madness, and good luck to everyone's brackets. But why did you feel that this episode was important to emphasize trading cards?
First of all, if anyone doesn't follow your regular page, I would highly recommend it. If you want to see exclusive, authentic interviews with Caitlin Clark, Dawn Staley, members of the LSU team, Carmine is your guy. Oh, no, sorry. You only really cover the South Carolina team, but anyway.
But no. I was in the Iowa locker room with Caitlin Clark, and we'll talk about that, in a second. But that is at Carmine _Gemei, Gemei, if you don't want to follow, because, hey, shoot, this is cool to me. So that's why I just try to put it out to other people, in the locker room with the mob around Caitlin Clark, filming her, asking her a question, which was super cool. And, just getting one-on-one interviews with Dawn Staley because of how accessible and gracious the South Carolina women's basketball team is to promote the incredible game of women's college basketball that is hitting a fever pitch, right now. And at the time of recording, the LSU and Iowa national championship rematch here in the Elite 8, which is here in Albany, has not happened yet. But that's going to be one of the most viewed women's college basketball games, maybe women's games of any sport, or maybe any college. Who knows how many people are going to watch this. So that's very exciting. So I'm really excited to see that tonight. But what an incredible experience this has been, covering the women's March Madness, which, I'm not just saying this to say it, but because I'm in the middle of it, I'd rather be at the women's March Madness than the men this year, because it's such a historic moment of empowerment to women in general, for equality, for the next generation of athletes coming up and kids, and showing them what's possible. And everybody's a witness to history right now, and living in the moment, knowing that it's history for the women's college game, and being able to document it, for me personally, has been an honor, and really something that was one of the coolest things that I've done so far.
Yeah, you're crushing it, not only getting in the mix, but asking the right questions to get the coaches and the players actually excited to talk within this media storm. And it seems like, from what I'm gathering, just looking on Instagram and such, women's college cards, like from the Bowman U products, are doing pretty well. And our last episode, which was college cards or not, a day after we recorded that, I actually purchased another college card. We're going to keep it about the cards, and I showed you this one. We're going to get right into it.
Yep.
I don't really get collegiate flawless stuff, but this one kind of caught my eye. It's at 2021, I believe. Let me just confirm that. It is, 2021 Panini Flawless Collegiate. Julius Randle, our guy on the Knicks. When he's coming back, I don't know.
Right.
Legacy patches, a true one of one.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Now, even though I'm a Knicks collector, sure, I like Julius Randle. Maybe he's not the biggest star. But I think it's cool because it looks to be the K from Kentucky, maybe. It is a true 101. But what really gathered my attention about this card was, rarely in college products do you see game worn, right? It's usually player worn.
Yep.
This one, as you see in the font there, is game worn. So it's a 1-of-1 game worn collegiate patch from Julius Randle. I thought that was a cool grab and a funny coincidence that I picked it up a day after you and I recorded our last episode, which was about college cards.
That's an incredible pickup, especially with it being game used. Now, what is it? You might know this history better than me because, like you said, almost everything college is player worn. Was that just a certain year they did that, or was it up to a certain cutoff where now it's become player worn? Do you know?
I don't know the calculus to it because I did do a little research and I saw the same card from Donovan Mitchell that same year, which was also game worn. But then if you look at all the others from that year or surrounding years, it all seems to be player worn. So I'm not sure. I don't have an answer to it. Maybe they just happen to have Panini maybe happened to have a Julius Randle college jersey. They happen to have a Donovan Mitchell college jersey. Maybe they didn't with other schools. I'm not quite sure how that all works.
Okay.
But the theme, Carmine, trading cards, emphasis on trading.
Yes.
A lot of different conversations about trading, including our own experiences. Some good for me, some not as good. But why don't you kick it off? Because you actually went to a trade night last week. And then I'll get into my stories that I wanted to share.
Yeah. So I'm so excited to talk about this because it was just a coincidence that I was actually able to go to this trade night, which was a March Madness themed trade night that I mentioned going to on the last episode at Brian's Sports Cards and More in Greenville, South Carolina, which is the place that I did the news story on with the father and the son, how they were bonding over sports cards. And I was coming back from covering March Madness with the South Carolina men in Pittsburgh, which I had the terrible towel in the last episode. And in between me traveling from covering the men's March Madness for the Gamecocks and traveling here to Albany, New York to cover the women's March Madness for the Gamecocks, I had one day to attend a March Madness themed trade night in South Carolina. So it just happened to work out. So funny though that I didn't make that many trades at the trade night. I mostly bought cards because so many people there had opened up packs and had extra cards that they were trying to get rid of. And, you know, as we know, cash is always king. Who doesn't want to recoup some cash at any time, really, in the hobby, but especially if you've been opening up a lot of product. And so this one guy who was there, he was maybe a couple years older than us. He said he got back into the hobby right after the Super Bowl. And this guy had like his amount of cards was like exploding this year's Super Bowl. Yeah. And he said the first thing he opened, which he said was a gift and a curse, was a box that had a Patrick Mahomes gold kaboom out of 10. Can you believe that? His first box he bought after getting back into the hobby right after the Super Bowl that, of course, the Chiefs won their third. And then the first thing that he opens is Patrick Mahomes gold kaboom.
I mean, you're just setting such unrealistic expectations for yourself.
Bro, yeah. So what he said was he opened it and he sold it for like $6,400, like to somebody who came down to the shop and paid him cash. And I said, you didn't think about grading that? And he's like, no, I just wanted to get the quick cash. And so I looked at the PSA 9 price because I'm like, okay, what if it would have gotten a 9? And that was like $9,000. So I was like, ooh, you know, but factor in the cost to get it graded at that price, which is going to be a few $100s at least. I don't know.
Upcharge too.
Upcharge, like maybe $400 or $500, however much it costs to grade that. But, you know, maybe that was what the guy who bought it from him ended up doing, and that was his sale. I have no idea. But so I bought some cards from that guy who was trying to recoup some money after he sold his Patrick Mahomes gold kaboom for more than $6,000. And what did he do? Like you said, he was doomed from the start. He started buying more stuff and then gave all that profit. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's kind of just the cycle of, you know, human nature. I understood. He was laughing about it too. It was free money to him at that point.
I mean, that's how you ever play a scratch off lottery ticket?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. I mean, we're obviously talking about gambling here. You buy $1 scratch off ticket, you win $3. You're not going to pocket those $3. You're going to get more scratch offs. That's the fun.
You're going to instead exchange one of those $3 for 4 quarters so you can quickly scratch off as many scratch offs as you can after that. You're going to be a fiend. So anyway, this guy needed some more money back. So I ended up paying him for a few of his cards. I got I wish I had the pictures on my phone, but I can just kind of tell you about it since I'm on location. I picked up a Ricky Williams Panini 1 patch auto, player worn, unfortunately, but it was a really cool 3-color patch. Ricky Williams, I just think is not only an amazing running back and the cheat code in NFL Street on PlayStation 2. If you guys remember that game, ooh, I'm unbeatable in that game. But anyway, I don't want to brag. I picked that up. I picked up a Mike Vrabel Super Bowl auto, which was cool because it was centered around the Super Bowl, and a Jason Kelsey Prism. I think it was like a bronze variation numbered at a 249 from his final year. I thought it was kind of cool. Of course, the New Heights podcast is a competitor to Crosstown Cardboard, so I don't want to promote them. But, pretty popular podcast, the most popular in the country at points this year. And just to get his final year card, that's a PC item or something that would spark a conversation if I put it in the case. So got those 3 from him. And then I got some football. I've been buying some football and, trying to grade it. So I got a Puka Nacua Prism Silver rookie. I got a CJ Stroud Prism rookie red, white, and blue, which I bought them for a decent price. The CJ Stroud I got for 100, Puka for 20 off this guy in a kind of a collaborative deal together. And then he was like, oh, well, he also needed to recoup some money to buy more packs and boxes. So I'm like, well, that's great because not only are they motivated to get money, but also the stuff they pulled that they're now selling was from packs that they previously opened.
So it's in good condition.
Good condition, and they're willing to sell it for cheaper than what most people are because their investment into it is less because they just bought the box and pulled it. Now, if you look at the full numbers, how many boxes did they get that were duds that they didn't, pull anything out of it? Probably evens out, or they're down money, I would guess, over time. But for that individual card that they pulled, they're like, oh yeah, I spent $10 on this box. I'll sell it to you for 75% of what it's going for if you have cash, or whatever it works out to around there probably. So I got that. And then just a couple more. I got a Gunnar Henderson Bowman Platinum rookie auto at a 99. He's bro, this is a flip. Don't shake your head. Unbelievable. I know what I'm collecting and then trying to flip. So I got
hey, it's a hustle.
I got a good price on it. Sure. No. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I got that.
Fair, valid.
I got that, and okay, I got a Larry Bird Select Green Auto, numbered out of 35, and I don't know if you know, I don't have the photo on me, but the year of it, it's a cool color match with the green and Larry Bird Celtics jersey. So I bought that for 100. And here's what I'm wondering: am I a bad guy or not? Okay, this is what I wanted to present to you. I was buying, like I said, I've been, buying these Prism rookies, really, because the flagship, like I don't just go around buying any football rookie. I buy the Prism rookies because that's the flagship product, the main number one identifiable rookie card, even though there's thousands out there that these guys are going to be remembered by, is their Prism rookie. Now, select, you have the different levels and all that, but I think that's pretty well agreed on. So this older guy who I bought the Larry Bird card off of as well, he had some of those Prism rookies, and the Bryce Young silver Prism rookie that I end up buying from him was in that bunch. So I was going through, and he's like, I'm asking him how much he thinks for each one. Now, he was I bought a David Pollock, the College Game Day analyst, David Pollock. So I bought a card of his. I bought a card of his because I just like anybody who's on TV, who's in the sports media industry. So I was asking him, like, what's the David Pollock worth? And he wanted like $30 or $40 on it. And recent sales are like $2, $3, $4, $5. So I'm like, I'll give you $5. Like, I'll give you the high end of what these have sold for. So he was like one of those older school guys who is valuing it more on how much he likes it versus what it's actually going for.
He's more just doing a feel thing.
Yeah, he's doing a feel thing. But he was also open to me showing him the sales and like talking about it. So I did end up getting the David Pollock rookie autograph, which is pretty cool. But the Bryce Young Silver Prism rookie is going for between like 75 and 85, which I already knew because I bought one of those at the Mealy Pop show in Spartanburg, South Carolina, that I recently talked about on the show. So I'm like, how much do you want for this? And he said $5 for the Bryce Young Silver Prism rookie that's going for 75 to 85. So I'm like, okay. And tell me, because people, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest on the show. I'm just going to put out my honest stories so that people can relate to them and hear, what we have to say from real people in the hobby. I'm not going to argue with somebody if they're happy with the price that I'm giving them. And what am I going to argue against myself? I'm going to say,
you asked the price. He gave you the price.
I asked him the price. I didn't offer $5. I said, what do you want for this? He said $5. So
no, it's a very fair question about morality. I think there's levels to it. For example, if you own a shop and someone comes in with a bunch of PMGs and they have absolutely no idea what they have, and you tell them, hey, I'll give you $100, and you really know you rip someone off bad. You asked the price of the card. Now, if you had the comps in one hand and you had the card in the other and you're looking 75, 5, tough.
Does that really, I mean, I knew the comps.
Yeah, things could have changed since the last time you had looked. I don't think you did anything wrong. You asked the price, he gave you the price.
Yeah, and I also bought other stuff off of him, like the Larry Bird, auto that, but like.
Yeah, so you bought multiple items, so you get a pass.
Yeah, so that was like a buy one, get one free.
Buy one, get one $5. Buy one, get one 80% off.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and not tell our listeners and viewers the truth. So I figure put that out there. And if you guys want to, or women as well, want to put in the comments, podcast or YouTube, and hopefully you'll subscribe and keep listening as well if you're not already. What do you think of that? Is that like morally wrong for me to accept the guy's $5 offer, knowing that the comps are $70 to $80 more? Or am I not in the wrong for, just paying him what he asked and, getting a good deal for myself?
You're an honest guy with integrity, so I think you get a pass here.
Obviously not to that gentleman, but afterward, behind his back. I'm just kidding.
Now, did you make any trades at this trade night?
What did I trade? Oh, yes, I did trade. I traded one little kid. I walked in, and there was no real spot for me and him. He like came over. I love when the kids are like, hey, what do you got in there? And then it's like, all right, so the first second I walked into the store, he came up. And maybe this will get me to be a little bit of a better guy in our viewers and listeners' eyes. So we put my Zion case on the ground because there was no room. And I'm just sitting there, crisscross applesauce with this 10-year-old kid talking about, he's going through my stuff. And I'm like, what do you like? He's like, modern football. Well, he didn't phrase it like that, but, that's what he was looking for. That's all he had. So I'm like, oh, okay. I got a few things for you. So I pulled out a few things, and then I brought, like, what I did was I left all my PC at home. This might be good for like strategy as far as, at least from my perspective. And I put all my higher priced items, like on the left side, I had my probably between $100 to a couple $1,000 cards on one side, which is mostly in the hundreds range. Second row was like 50 to maybe $250 cards. And then the next two rows were like stuff I would put in a 4-row box, like if I was set up at a show, like, between $5 to $25 cards in the last 2 rows of my 4-row Zion case. So I'm like pulling out stuff. I'm looking at his stuff. And I liked he had I got my Clemson PC covering them as well, living in the area. So I had a matching rated rookie pink variation in the college uniform of Etienne, the running back for Clemson, and Trevor Lawrence, of course, the former Clemson quarterback. And I thought that was a really cool pairing to have the same color variation, both in their college uniforms, and then now both playing together for the Jaguars. So I picked out those two. He didn't really see anything that he liked that he was too crazy about, but then his brother was there and he picked out a Josh Dobbs rated rookie auto that I had picked up from a pawn shop in Medford, Oregon, and just got because it's so random, right?
Yeah.
So it was like numbered out of 25. I mean, it's a nice card, but it was Josh Dobbs. But you know what he did coming onto the national scene. Of course, he was electric at Tennessee, but then not really much as a pro. But then coming onto the national stage this year, you know, becoming a starter. And then when he got traded to the Vikings, that legendary story of not even knowing any plays, you know, first landing and then getting into the game and leading that win for them. I guess this kid had heard of him because of that crazy story. So anyway, I traded him the Josh Dobbs rated rookie auto, which is probably like a $25 to $40 card, for his two Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne Jr. Rated rookie pinks in the Clemson uniform. I didn't even look them up, but I was pretty sure that the Josh Dobbs was worth more, but I didn't care. That was before I got the deal on the Bryce Young silver, but that was just a fun trade because I just bought that Josh Dobbs at the pawn shop, and it was just fun for me to get two PC cards off of a card that I just took a cheap flyer on a few months before.
From Medford, Oregon to that guy's PC. All right.
I hope so. I don't know. He might flip that sucker. He was a hustler.
The kids are no joke in this hobby, as we've discussed.
Nope. But that was fun.
My show that I went to last weekend, it was the White Plains show, which I'm sure, since we have a heavy New York listening audience, have been to at some point.
Yep.
I don't know. It wasn't a great show for me.
Yeah.
It was this realization that I'd been to this show probably 3 times in the last year, and I'm really starting to see the same cards, the same dealers and vendors. And I realize I'm not in that modern game, all the ultra modern types of quarterbacks. And maybe it's my own fault, not the show's fault, that I'm not transacting as much because I just don't particularly like the ultra modern type cards. And that seems to be where all the buying and selling is happening.
Yep.
I made a trade, and it was just fun to just do a trade. No cash involved. Just straight up trade. I had a Bobby Witt, his first Bowman Chrome card, autograph, but not like the official autograph, in-person autograph that I picked up at Culture Collision. There was a guy who was set up at the White Plains show who was a fan. So I traded him that Bobby Witt card, and I just got these 2 cards in return. A messy 2019 Topps Chrome Refractor. Nothing too sexy. It's like a $50 to $60 card.
Okay. Is that Barcelona uniform?
It is. So that always adds a little something to it.
You know I'm a Barcelona guy.
Oh, everyone knows that. And this was a cheap $10 card, but I am starting up my Denver little side PC for when the next time I go to Denver. So this is a
wait. So this is it. So this is a PC until you try to sell them in Denver?
Trade them in Denver.
Okay. Trading.
The theme of the episode is trading.
Okay, yes.
But this was a Royce Freeman encased autograph, but with the inscription Broncos country.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be a cool one to bring to Denver and trade when I go to Mike Stadium Sports Cards again.
Yeah, I thought that was going to say Rolls Royce, his nickname from Oregon.
So the Bobby Witt card's not really for me. It's baseball, but just a nice straight up 2-for-1 trade because after all, they are called trading cards.
They are.
Now that dealer, that vendor was open to trading. Another vendor.
Ooh, bro. Oh, whoa. Let's take a second for this segue. Uh-oh.
This other vendor, not so much. If you've been to the show, they have this card. This one vendor has this card there. It is a 2001 Upper Deck SP game used. I believe that's correct. It is a triple patch of Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, and Tracy McGrady. Rare card, numbered out of 10. Patches are cool. Not that sexy, but cool. Okay. I have inquired about this card every time I've gone to one of these shows for no joke the last 3 years.
He's had it for the 3 years?
That tells you something about this vendor and his inventory and his willingness to work with you, I think. Yeah. Every time I look at the card, it catches my eye, I ask him about it. The asking price is outrageous. I think he wanted like $700-800 for it. That thing does 300 to 400 tops if you run it on auction right now.
Okay.
Whatever. Wasn't meant to be. He also has a really nice Knicks booklet, similar to the one I have, but the patch version.
Yes.
He's asking 500 on it. There were patch booklets that did 250 on eBay. Again, you get what I'm going
so
with.
So he's double comps on both of those.
Yes. So he had this Christian Pulisic Futera, which isn't the most popular brand, but it is all game worn. This quad jersey with a little patch piece, numbered out of, I forgot what it was, but the comps on the car were like $40 to $50. He was asking more 60 to 70. I'm just not willing to pay that much over comps for a car they don't really want. So he had a guy working with him. I gave him 3 slabs that I was going to try to trade for this Pulisic. And he said, his guy working with him said, oh, will you trade for this? And he looks at the cards and he's like, oh, no, I'm not trading. So I said to him, I'm like, you don't trade on anything?
Right.
And he's like, no trades. I'm like, but this is what I said. I'm like, they're literally called trading cards.
Right.
He turns to me and says, they're called selling cards. That left me feeling a type of way.
Wow.
Yeah. Turned to me and said they're called selling cards, which is why I felt it was important to talk about this episode. They're called trading cards.
You know what? So what did you say anything back to him?
I walked away. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure I'll see this guy in a year, 2 years, 5 years. He'll still have the same cards. He'll still have that same triple patch. It was just, I don't know.
That just
an unwillingness to work and trade is just like kind of a lot of the pureness that we've lost from this hobby. What's wrong with making a nice trade? You've got a card in your booth for $60 that clearly is not moving. You have the bottom left corner of your showcase. I'm willing to give you 3 cards for it. I don't care if it's a $5 trade or a $60 trade. Like, why not? Well, I get you got to pay for table space. Totally understand. But if this card's not moving, I'm giving you 3 pieces to help you move into it. Whatever.
But at least
I wasn't going to let it ruin my day.
Yeah, no. But at least the opportunity to look. Like, what did we do at Culture Collision? We at least took a look at every single person who asked us, and you take 2 minutes. You can quickly probably judge if they have something that you're interested in or similar stuff in the genre of what you like. And if not, hey, thanks for showing me and good luck, in a nice way. That's just valuing somebody and giving them your time of day. But to not even be open to it. But you know what? I just thought of a good zinger, if not Porzingis, but as far as a joke, if you were, in that situation again, or if you could replay it and have more time to think about it. And you're like, they're called trading cards. And he was like, they're actually called selling cards. And if you said, not at those prices.
Nice. Yeah. But you know what? It definitely left a bad taste in my mouth. And I think that interaction definitely contributed to an overall not that positive of a show experience. But now I know not to work with this individual.
Yeah. So are you going to ask about that card? Are you going to just not talk to him anymore? Or what do you think?
It's over with.
Okay.
That's fair. I'm sure. But however, there was a trade that I made. Now, there's a buddy of mine. He just graduated high school last year. His name is Gavin. He's 631 Sports Cards on Instagram. 631 in Suffolk County. That's where I grew up in Suffolk County. Okay. I grew up in the 631. Okay. He's an Eli Manning collector. And I talked to you about the strategy. I was going to bring that Eli Manning RPA to the show to try to trade him. And he was interested. Unfortunately, my time at the show was limited. Yeah. So I didn't get to have great conversation. I couldn't really sit down with him and make a trade because I was looking at the cards. Okay. So I left the show, and silly of me, we could have just made this trade in person. But anyway, I DM'd Gavin afterwards. I'm like, I'm still willing to make a deal for this Eli Manning. I don't think we were too far off in values. Why don't you take a picture of your showcase, and I'll take a look through your showcase and see if we could find anything.
Okay.
Long story short, this card caught my eye. He had this card stickered at $450. $450 was roughly what I was looking to get for the Eli Manning. And when we were back and forth, it's really funny. We were talking about trading this card, just a nice, classic, 1-for-1 trade. You've got a card I like. I've got a card you like. 1-1 swap, done deal. Okay. It was funny because he was very honest with me, Gavin. He's like, he added a $450 sticker. He's like, I'm into this card for $300. I'm like, dude, no way. I'm into this Eli Manning for $300.
Wow.
Let's just do a swap because he's an Eli Manning collector. So my Eli RPA will more fit his collection.
Yeah.
I know Vic collectors, so Michael Vick, I would more so enjoy having this piece. So I traded my Eli straight up, and I got this 2017 Select Michael Vick Black Prism die cut True 101. I like this card not only because the Black Prism is the classic Black Prism. I think it goes really nicely with the Falcons uniform.
Yes.
And, we always look for those little extra things on our cards. To me, I like this because it is the Pat Mahomes rookie year.
Oh, okay.
So 2017 Select, I think the die cut is like I look at this and my mind immediately goes to 2017. So I think it's cool that it came from the Mahomes year, and it's a true Michael Vick 101. And, I tried selling, flipping, trading the Eli. Didn't really work out the way I expected to. So I handed it off to an Eli collector. I basically reshuffled, and now I've got this. And I also purchased for an additional $40 a nice Walt Frazier flawless gold autograph out of 10.
Oh, that's a nice looking card.
So I gave an extra $40 on top. He threw me in the Walt Frazier, and boom, mail day from Gavin. So the show ended up being all right when you consider all that.
Yeah. Or at least
even though I could have done the trade at the show, would have made way more sense, but it's all right. Yeah. We did it after the fact.
Yeah. And he had his showcase displayed because he was at the show. So maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe that doesn't happen if you and him, or at least he, is not at the show. That Michael Vick card is sharp. Ooh, yeah, it is. Good. That's a good looking card with that black border.
I mean, how fun is that? Just a straight up 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah.
The other guy earlier in the show was willing to trade me those 2 cards for my 1 Bobby Witt. And then he got this third vendor who's like, they're not trading cards, they're called selling cards. So that gives you a feel for the different people in the hobby who are more willing to work with you, who understand the value of trading, and then these old school guys who are stuck at their high prices. So
yeah, that's it. But that's so much of the fun. I feel bad when I hear stories like that, as far as people missing out, on a, like you said, a fun and a really a more innocent part of the hobby. It takes you back to being a kid and not really concerned about, like, literally when I was sitting, to get back to the trading cards piece, when I'm sitting on the ground at 29 years old, about to be 30 in 2 months, with this 10-year-old kid, I feel like a kid. I get that youthful thing going that I feel like is so important for any adults. And one of the big reasons why we're in this hobby is because we get to experience that childlike, nerdy, I don't care what other people think type of joy. And me sitting on the ground and not looking up comps and trading with that kid to get 2 cards that I'm going to collect and get him 1 card that's of more value that he's excited about because he's hustling, but we're both contributing to each other's goals, by making that exchange. I just feel like if you're not trading, you're missing out on such a fun part of the hobby that not only is fun, but also allows you to get a lot more cards that you would probably like more. Or even if you're trying to sell them, you can fit the puzzle pieces into a deal. Like you guys were into those 2 cards for much less than what you think they're going to go for.
Right.
And now if you do choose to sell them, a Vic guy. And so that's better for you financially too. So I love trading.
Yeah. Again, back to the theme. They are called trading cards.
Yep.
With all that, dude, I've consolidated. You want to see my inventory? All the inventory I'm bringing to shows right now? This.
You can hold in 2 hands?
That's everything.
Wow.
That's all the stuff I have to trade, sell. There are a few things I actually might take out of the PC and bring with me, but there's a reason my inventory has diminished so much.
Why is that?
I told you a little bit. Just because, you know what? I'm sitting here with this inventory, this stuff, as we like to say it. What do you save your stuff for?
I like to look at my stuff or hold my stuff.
I'm not talking personal collection. Just the stuff, the stuff that you're going to try to trade. Like, what do you save it for?
To try to sell or trade?
Right. Shows, trade nights, online.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with all this inventory, stuff that I intend to bring to shows. I'm not going to be set up anytime soon. So, as I told you, Teddy, my good buddy, was not doing so well the last week or 2.
Your doggy.
My dog, Teddy. He's doing great now. He's the adorable mush over there.
Okay.
So we had to take him to the vet a bunch of times. Vet bills are no joke. And until we were waiting for insurance to give us whatever reimbursement we got, I'm like, you know what? cover some of these vet bills. So Instagram, Facebook, eBay. I even went to Bleecker. Sold about $1,000 worth of inventory in the last week or two. Because sometimes real life happens, and I was able to sell that, cover the cost of the vet bills. Teddy's healthy. I'm still sitting here with good inventory, and not a single card that I sold in the last week or two that I actually miss. It was just stuff. It was just inventory.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yeah, real life happens sometimes. And I'm sorry, no content creator, none of these YouTubers, they never ever talk about like real life expenses. It's always just buy cards, flip, buy cards, flip. They never talk about investing.
Well, I think a lot of them don't have real life expenses, bro. I mean, they're living at home. I mean, no offense to them, but if you're living at home and all your food, insurance, car, and bills are paid for, I don't know their life, but also, is that really what's going to get, like, are we personally going to get that many clicks because we're talking about real stuff that is very relatable to other people? Hopefully, that's our goal.
Sure.
We're not motivated by clicks or going viral or getting the algorithm.
We keep it real. We keep it very real. So here's a real example where, vet bills were high. I could sit here and hold my Rudy Gay patch autograph and my Jason Terry gold refractor. I could hold these for the next show and hoping that I sell them at the next show, or put out some story sales, see what I could do. I was able to build up some funds in my PayPal, my Venmo, and I covered the vet bills. And I think that's pretty freaking cool that I'm able to still keep most of my collection, but sell off some things to pay off real life sometimes. That's life.
And nothing lights a fire under your ass like having to do something like that. Like, I bet you were way more motivated with Teddy's health on the line to get some sales going than if it was just a pocket, to try to reinvest into the hobby.
Yeah. But it was cool. I was able to sell here online. Like I said, I went to Bleecker Trading. They had a kids trade night on Saturday. So I popped in and we had made a deal offline. So I dropped off a few cards there. Yeah, like I said, that's life.
Did you take losses on some of those cards or do you think you profited in the long run?
Great question. I would say overall, a net positive.
Wow, okay.
A lot I broke even. Some I took some losses. Some I took from gains. If I were to add everything up, it's still profit. I'm still maintaining roughly 12 to 13% profit on the year.
Wow. So you're like the S&P 500 of the card market.
I'll take that.
That's pretty good. Slow and steady growth.
Yeah. And again, no big sales. $50 card here, $70 lot here. And I just kind of reset my inventory, but I'm still buying. I'm still buying some stuff now that the vet bills are cleared.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm proud of you for prioritizing the real life stuff, versus holding on to the cards that you mentioned. And I am taking a slight break. Oh, I do want to talk about this one card, bro. I forgot about Teddy in good health. Oh my gosh.
Love this guy.
He is a mush. Look at him. That's cute. I'm glad he's good. So I got I almost positive I didn't talk about this card yet. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But anyway, my persistence of trying to get some of these cards. Oh, I made a huge trade. I'll save this for the next episode, though.
What? This is the trading episode.
Okay, but we can't get into it. It's too good to get into right now, bro. I'm
sorry.
Episode. I'm sorry. I know, but we're philosophically talking about trading too, and we trade all the time. I don't want to. This deserves its own. Wait until you see what I got. But that's a tease.
Are we calling this, by the way, trading inventory for vet expenses? That's basically a trade.
That's a good and not too specific title. I think that'll resonate.
Which one?
Trading cards for vet expenses.
No, I'm just saying, in my instance, are we calling that a trade?
Oh, yeah. You're trading cards for a card trade for a dog's health.
Yep.
No, that doesn't quite really. We'll have to watch it.
Anyway.
We'll trade in that title for a better one. How about that? So this is the one card, though, that I straight out purchased. And I'm going to save that big trade for later. I can't wait to talk more about that. I got some cool PC cards off of that trade that are pretty expensive. So stay tuned for that on the future Crosstown cardboards. But did you see this one that I picked up? I actually do have a picture of this one if you're watching on the YouTube, even though I'm currently away from my inventory. Larry Bird, National Treasures, Night Moves, which I've always thought was a very cool set. On-card auto, numbered out of 25 with a 3-color patch, green, yellow, and white, which might be from a warm-up. I'm not sure because I haven't really been able to find any Celtics jerseys with a lot of yellow in them. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can clear that up for me in the comments on podcast or YouTube about where the yellow in the Celtics patches come from, because I also had somebody ask me about that too. And I was like, now that you mention it, that's a good question. I know their warm-ups had yellow, but I'm not sure about their jerseys, any of their jerseys having yellow. Anyways, not to get too far in the weeds, but so I got this super cool PC. This is not leaving the PC because it's such a cool set, cool design, 3-color patch, on-card auto, a young Larry Bird photo. The price that the guy was asking was $500.
I could see that.
And yes, it's on the photo. And by the way, I couldn't find any sales on the 3-color patch. The last single napkin jersey patch, the white patch, or not patch, jersey little material, game used also, went for $422 on a white napkin color of this. And that one was numbered out of 49 as well. This one's numbered out of 25 with a 3-color patch. So if that one, the 1 color out of 49 sold for $422, and this guy was asking $500 for the 3-color patch out of 25, I thought anything somewhat around what the napkin out of 49 sold for would be like a good deal, because this one's so much nicer and lower numbered. And so I ended up paying $450.
Oh, no brainer.
So I was like, boom, that's pretty easy, So I already knew, even at the asking price, that was going to be a pretty good buy, especially since none have sold with a 3-color patch on there. So I was happy to buy that for $450 for the Larry Bird PC. And I'll give you a little bit more of a tease on that big trade that we'll talk about on the next episode. It involves 3 different Larry Bird dual autographs with somebody else. I'm not going to say who were involved in this trade. So
okay, I'm teased.
Okay, good.
I've
been trying to tease the TV audience all week, so hopefully I get some experience about it.
Nice. Now, for me, you bought Bird stuff. That's the type of thing, like, you'll have that out of your table though. You might move that.
I don't know, bro. Oh, it's very cool. It's very cool to me. I don't think so.
Got it. Well, I need some more inventory now that I sold a bunch, cleared off the vet bills. This just came across my feed, and you tell me what you think. I'm going to have you guess what I paid. I thought it was a great deal.
Okay.
A 7-card Peyton Manning lot.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
7-card Peyton Manning.
Wow, that patch on the right really catches my eye.
Now, right, so stuff I like: absolute memorabilia, a little game-worn pants patch. This was a cool one it was actually his rookie card from 98 Prestige, but it came in buyback packs in 2001. So Peyton Manning, on card, signed, rookie card, hand numbered.
Wow. And by the way, Peyton Manning stuff is so cheap compared to, in my opinion, compared to the quality of player he was and the media mogul that he is right now.
I agree. And he's always going to have a place in this hobby. So that is one of my favorite sets, which I've mentioned here before, Upper Deck Reflections. This is from 2005. Peyton Manning signed on the game-worn jersey, numbered out of 10.
I like that a lot, bro. I'm interested in that one.
There is a comp on it. I will say that much.
What is it?
$425. I shouldn't have told you that I was going to have you guess the price of the lot.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair, though. I'm interested.
And then this last one that you pointed out, it's actually a piece of the nameplate. So from his name,
Yeah.
So the
I
lot
like that too.
seemed,
I like that too.
the lot seemed too, the price was too right to pass up. It's someone I know, so I know it's reliable. And I'm just thinking ahead. We're going to be in shows. I sold off all the inventory that I don't love. So at least if I'm going to re-up, let me get inventory of a player who's great and of the era of cards that I like. This is all mid-2000s stuff. It's exactly what I collect.
Yep.
So for the 7-card lot, we got 2 base rookies. We have the autograph rookie. We have the autograph on the jersey. We've got the patch, and we got 2 more patches on top. What do you think I paid for the lot?
I'm gonna say 600.
$560. You're good.
No, well, you texted me and said you paid 600.
Did I?
I see it right here. Bought a Peyton Manning collection for $600.
Oh, well, I lied to you. It was $560. Damn.
I would have guessed a lot more though. I would have guessed a lot more.
Yeah. So listen, the price was right. I like Peyton. Is he someone I PC? No, but those are cards I don't mind holding on to. Just hopefully Teddy stays nice and healthy. God forbid anything happens and we have more vet bills. Shout out to the sheriff for helping me pay them off.
The sheriff laying down the law. That's great though. I really like those Peyton Manning. And those are not just any Peyton Manning cards. Those are unique, cool, and if they're not, some higher value, they're still at least rookie cards. But like that nameplate one, what do you think that's worth? I like that a lot.
There's a sale for it for $150. It seems like the person who sold them to me bought a lot of these, and they're kind of redoing their PC. So I was able to get him at a discounted price that he paid. So yeah, we'll see what I could do with them. Hopefully I could trade them into some Knicks cards because, this is the trading episode after all.
Yeah, it is. Well, we might be able to work something out off camera, of course.
Okay. I have your information.
You do. So, all right. So what do you think are the final takeaways since, we're both, frequently involved in trading cards. Let's put that in all caps. But what do you think are the final takeaways about why you thought this should be a good episode theme?
Don't be like that vendor who looks at these as selling cards and not trading cards. I get it. It's a business. I get it that individual is there to pay for the table. But if we really think back to the history of this hobby, I'm talking back when it was just base cards. It was built on trading. I had Card Club last week, and I had students making trades. They were just trading 25-cent cards for other 25-cent cards because it's fun. It's fun at the end of the day, right? You trade a player you want for a player they want. Nice and simple. So be willing, be flexible to make trades. If you can make a one-for-one trade, I think that's just so pure and awesome. Obviously, the values need to make sense. I mean, what a unique trade this was for the Michael Vick. But just be open and willing to trade because it can't just be all buy and sell. They are called trading cards.
Yep. Completely agree that the trading realm has so much purity, fun, and potentially financials that you could miss out on, like that gentleman who's looking at it as selling cards, but in his case, it's sitting cards because he's not really. It's stuff to him. It's just stuff.
Yeah, he might as well glue those cards to his showcase because they're not moving anytime soon.
You should say, "Sir, I'll trade you glue for this $5 rookie card because that might be a better investment."
Next Sunday is Bleecker Showcase event. I should have a few, hopefully at least a couple, 2 Card Club members who are going to show up and man the table.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully they make a little money, have some fun, do some business deals. Other than that, man, springtime, just like you're busy right now with the Final Four, this is a busy time of year for me. So somehow we managed to squeeze this in every week. So thanks to those who listen.
Yes, sir. Try to keep doing the best we can, be relatable, and just continue to promote this great hobby.
Thanks, cards.
Ah.
Peace.